I believe we need something that will galvanize the attention of the generation. So I woke up, I've been pondering this a little bit, but I woke up a couple days ago and I said, what if we did a student walkout to prayer? And we started calling kids at specific times. We'd blow the trumpet, and we're actually in 2 weeks, we're going to pose the first student walkout to prayer. And what we're going to call kids to do is walk out of their classrooms at 11 o'clock, and from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, they're going to go into their quad and begin to cry out for revival. And they're going to adamantly gather together, crying out for a spiritual awakening in the education system, in the universities. What if next spring or next fall, we did it and we had 100,000 kids walk out in peaceful, non-violent protest? What we're telling the universities isn't we want state universities that are only Christian. We're saying teach unbiased history, teach unbiased science, teach unbiased social humanities, teach unbiased everything, economics, teach it unbiased. Meaning don't have an atheist in there in every class saying that miracles don't exist. There's enough evidence out there right now to say there's an opposition to that mentality. And what we want to call the universities back to is the original roots of the universities of America, which isn't a great thing. We're just saying 150 years ago, these were theological seminaries. We believe we've fallen away from the truth. We believe it's not working. The greatness of America wasn't in our legislation. It wasn't in our secular education. We're falling because we've fallen away from God. We believe the greatness of America was the first 100 universities were Bible teaching universities. We're only calling them back to the greatness of America. And we are asking that universities around the nation would begin to bring in pastors and leaders and teach unbiased, that you would have one right next to the other. 6 months from now, what if we could believe for 100,000 to 1 million kids to walk out and that they would say, if something doesn't change in my university, I'm leaving my university to build a house of prayer, and we will challenge your university from outside. Now, and we'll come back in as Daniel's and Esther's 10 times wiser. In the hippie movement in the 60s, you had thousands of kids leaving the Ivy Leagues. Thousands upon thousands. But they were taking away from the universities, they were taking away thousands and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars with them. And they were leaving, and the universities, in my opinion, it hit me for the first time a couple days ago, they had to conform to the culture in order to survive in the midst of it. So they appeased the hippie generation and began to teach what they wanted them to teach. It was a protest. It was a rebellion against the status quo, and they pushed their agenda into the nation. But if you had 100,000 to 1 million Christians saying, I'm going to leave the secular institutions unless something changes, unless we return to God and you begin to put the gospel right next to secular humanism, and let us decide for ourselves. Let us decide for ourselves. If you had 1 million people that were able to do that in the spring, or maybe, I'm planning on doing these for the next 5 to 10, 15 years, that we would continue to build this, and we would continue to get momentum where people are walking into their quads and gathering together saying, God, give us a spiritual awakening.